You are welcome back to our channel, Biz Data Consult BDC. In this session, we are looking at Excel charts. So, after you have your data correctly formatted, most time it's not easy to spot and have insight into data when the data is not presented in a visual form. So the fastest way to to see your data and have insight into it is to put them into charts. So for instance, if you look at this set of numbers for sales of a particular company, for you to know exactly what sale is the highest and what sale is the lowest, you need to be looking at this set keenly before you can figure it out. And if you have the data that is more than that and the sales values here are actually very close, you may not be able to spot exactly where the highest and the lowest is quickly just by looking directly. But if we put this in a chart form, it will be very obvious which one is the highest and which one is the lowest. That is the advantage of presenting your data in form of charts, which gives you graphic representation of what your data is all about. So that is what we want to achieve in this section. So to make a chart, you need data, and your data will consist of at least a category set and a value set. What do we mean by that? A category cell will state what are you trying to look at. Okay, like I am looking at years, variations within a range of years. For instance, here 2018, 2019, 2020 to 2025. And then the values, which are actual values that those categories gives rise to. So for you to plot a chart, at least you must have a category and you have value sets, value series. Okay, but you can have more than one category and more than one value series. But for the purpose of introduction, we only deal with one value series and two value series, for instance. In this case of dataset 2, for instance, you are seeing a shop where things are being sold. This person is selling electronics, he has electronic unit, a clothing section, home and garden section, a company for books, and the other place where they sell toys. So he wants to compare, for instance, these are the categories, you can see. Categories of what we want to analyze. And for each category, what are the data values or series, which are these that we have. Okay, so that's the simplest way, for the kind of data we can use to introduce charts in Excel. So charts help you tell you the story that number can't easily tell. So in this section, we are going to cover three main chart types that you need to know: how to insert them and how to make them look professional. The three types of charts we want to look at as most basic are column or bar charts, line charts, and pie charts. To insert a chart for a data set, what you need to do first is to select the category and the series of that data set. And we go to, from the home ribbon, you go to the insert ribbon, insert. So when you come to this group, you can see this group for charts. It gives you shortcuts into readily available charts, or you can actually dive down to get more charts. So for instance, this one we want to insert column chart. So if I click in this drop down arrow, I see 2D column, different 2D column charts. Okay, stacked column charts. Can you see this is cluster column chart? This is stack column chart. Can you see this is also 100% stack chart? We can have 3 dimension. We can have this is bar, cluster bar. This is bar chart, cluster bar, stacked bar, and of course you can see that the data is changing as I'm previewing it. I'm trying to change to as I'm trying to preview it. Okay, so a shortcut to give you full list of charts that are available will be that if you click on this, this is the chart group when we have this recommend. Okay, before that, let's look at this as well. If I go to recommended charts, it will try to select the best kind of charts I can use for this data set. You see, it has suggested this for me. The first is suggested for me is a line chart. Why is suggesting a line chart is that in this one, we are having things that have to do with time, something that varies over time, says varies over time. So line charts are mostly useful for series that have categories that have to do with time, change in time. So I will give you a trend or change in time or changes in the change in the value series over a period of time, whether per day, whether per week, whether per month, whether per year, quarterly, bi-quarterly, and all of that. So anything that has to do with time, that changes with time, a line chart is very good for that. So it's giving an option for a line chart, for instance, as an example here. But what I want is actually a bar chart. Okay, so this is bar chart. This is line chart with markers. Those markers showing the different points of data sets. Okay, for this data, it shows the point. This point has a particular value, which will be the one for 2018. This point have another one, 2019, and all of that. So it's also showing me option for bar chart, which I'm not going to that exactly now, and so forth and so on. Now, but for us to do a full library of charts that are available in Excel, if you click on this set recommended chart, you can see it's still giving us recommended chart. Now, from this recommended chart, you have all charts. Can you see this tab? From this is recommended chart. Then if you go to this, it gives you a list of all charts that are available in Excel. So you see, you have line charts, you have column charts, you have pie charts, you have bar charts, area charts, scattered charts where you can plot X and Y in scatter diagram, maps and stocks and surface and all of that. Some box, tree map, histogram, as well waterfall, funnel, and combo. In this session, we are also going to introduce us to combo charts. Combo just means a combination of charts. Okay. So for the purpose of this, to start this, we are just going to insert a bar chart. So let's come here and take this very first one. Say insert. So automatically it inserts a bar chart. So you can see. So this is the chart against from this table. Alright. So when you select this chart, you will notice certain things. Number one, you will see that this chart has a title. Come insert chart title. So you can change this, you can click in this and change this to whatever best describe your data. So let's say this is uh, annual sales. Let's call this annual sales. Annual turnover. Let's use the word sales for simplicity. Okay, and as you can format this, you can format this by changing the color, changing the size, bolding it, whatever, just like you can format any elements or character. Okay. Now, what you notice is that immediately this chart is produced, or you select this, let me click outside this. If I click outside this, look at this very well. Look at here very well. Look at this place. So if I click on this chart, you will see these two tabs or ribbons comes in, which is the chart design and formats. Okay. These are things that give you, these are contextual menu, okay, that gives you options of everything and anything you want to do with the selected chart. So if you come here, it says chart designs. So it can give us various things we can do with the chart. For instance, we have built-in templates. You can see that as I'm changing it, it's changing to those built templates. If I click down here, I can pick any template that I think is good for me. Can you see this? And I can even go ahead and see further customize them. I can pick anyone and decide to change the color palette, the way the color is, you can see, all right, the way the color is represented. So layout, quick layout. So I can give it to make it layout in just a way that will show different forms of representation. You can see in this layout now, both the data, the year, and the save volume are represented like a table, okay, and the chart is on top. That is quick layout, okay. I can change it to another one if I do like, okay. I change it to this, for instance, okay. Gives me that. We'll go into that details later. So for the purpose of this class, let's just stick with the first one. I think we can stick with the first one. Okay. Now, so that's the first thing you notice. And you want to format the chart, you come here. Any part of the chart is called element of the chart. Anything that constitutes part of the chart is called the element of the chart and can be formatted. So another thing you know are the chart elements, as I said. The chart elements are anything on the chart that you can format or change the way it looks. So if you look at these three things here, you have this one says chart elements. Okay, chart elements. Also, if you go back to chart design and you come here, you say add chart element. It will take you to the same thing. And what are the chart elements? The axis. You can format the axis, primary, secondary. We'll get to that. Axis titles, how to change the title. Okay. Chart title, how to change your chart title, which I've already done directly. Data labels. Data labels are things that will show you. It will show you each of the data that constitutes, that give rise to those rising bars that you are seeing. Okay, it will show it specifically. Data table, that is, you can put a data table below. Can you see what I did here? Or what is done there? Can you see? If I go back to what I have. Error bars, if there are errors and all of that. Grid lines, we can show grid lines. You can ask you can see grid line is shown there so you can read easily. Can you see? It's easier to read. When it's plain like this, it's not easy to read actually where each bars end. Okay, but if I put it here, for instance, you can see a grid box is shown in the background, which help me to easily visualize and read the data more. Primary, minor, horizontal. You can see another one is doing horizontal one. Primary, minor, vertical is doing vertical as we have. These are what we call chart element. Then legends are the keys that we use to describe the chart, knowing what is going on. For instance, these are legend, year, sales. Okay, the year is the legend. There is year in blue in this green like, and sales in this red like color. Okay, trends can also show you trends or how the data is moving. So for the purpose of this, I just insert this chart and show us the chart elements. So after the chart element, you have chart style, which are also what will represent the chart design here. These things here are styles that you can change. So this is another shortcut to that style. So if I come here, you can see it's showing me different things, same thing. I can pick here. So there are many ways most of the time where you can change and pick what you want in Excel. Can you see? I think I like this, so I can change it to this, for instance. So that is the element for chart style. Then I can filter. So if I want to apply filter, this is filter. What filter do I want? If I want year filter, for instance, maybe I can filter categories. It's saying the category. What are the categories? 2018 to 2025. That is how many of them? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's what you have here. So for instance, if I want to filter out a particular year, maybe I want to filter out year 3 and year 4, you can see it's gone. You are only left with, so year 4 is gone there. Okay, it's writing year 4 there. Let's say deselect. If I deselect all and I start to select particular things that I want, okay, those will begin to show. All right. So if I say apply, for instance, if I say apply now, it will only show those years I've selected. Can you see? So that is how to use the filter. Okay. So I can return the filter. Okay, remove all the filters. If it's here, okay, if it's a month that I want to filter out to, I can come to sales. I can filter out, for instance. I don't have much on sales, so let's just leave that. So let's just leave that. I don't want an issue with that. So this is what we can do. This is a simple bar chart showing us the revenue for periods, over periods of time. So I've changed each one to 2, 4, 6, remember? So let me go back and change that. So filter, I'm going to remove the filter. I say select all. Okay, and then apply. So this is what I have. Now, why is this showing this as 1, 2, 3? Why is not showing it as dates? I guess there is a problem with this my data. See, this 2018, 2019, you see the problem of formatting now? It's not showing this as date. It's showing this as general number. So it does not recognize this column as date. That's why it's not picking it as date. So I'm going to reformat this and change it to date. And change it to date. The year also. It's not that. And so Z. Oh, I hope it's able to change to date. Okay. You should be able to recognize it as date. I don't know why. So now we can format, like I said, the axis title. This axis is for what? It's representing our years. Okay. In the type, you can say years. Can you see that? You can, if you like, you can resize it. I don't want to take time on that. If you like, you can resize it. You can move it. For instance, if I want to change to it, I can right click on it. It will give me option to delete it. Change chart type, select data. Okay. You want me to fill it, I can fill it. I don't know whether it's selecting that. Okay. It's not selecting, it's selecting the text, not the text box. Let's try to select the text box itself. So if I right click on this now, so give me option to edit the font, to give it outline. Okay, and I can change the color outline that I want. You see, I can change the weight of that color outline if I want, and so forth and so on. So I say this is years. I don't know why it's showing, and it says in million. Now this is the legend. Okay, I can move this legend. It said format legend. Can you see? I right click, it says format legend. Meaning if I don't want it to be here, I can move it to the top. Okay, it's on the top now. Can you see now? I move it to the bottom. I can move it to the left. I can move it to the right as it is. So for this purpose of this is good. We leave it at the bottom, right? Now, so anything you want to format or you want to change to, just select it and right click on it to give you the options of what you can do. So this change chart type, I don't want to select data. If you want me to add minor, major grids, those things, format axis, I want to format this axis, okay, which I'm selecting. What's it giving me? So it says date, select based on data. So now it's selecting based on, I want to change it to date axis, okay, axis crosses, okay. So I change that to take axis. Let's get out of that. What do we have? So that's one way to create charts. Another way to create the same chart is if you have selected what you want. Let's say we are selecting this for instance. Okay, let's come here. Let's say we are selecting this for instance. Let's select this. We can select this and press Alt F1. Alt F1. We automatically bring the chart again according to default chart according to that. So another shortcut to creating the chart is Alt F. You select the table and press Alt F1. So you can see it has taken this categories, takes it to the horizontal, and the amount, the revenue, it takes it to the vertical, right? So this is how you can visualize your data. You can see that on this data, you can easily see that highest sales is what? Is electronics at what? 450,000. You can only see that lowest sales is books, which is at 1,150,000. So this is the advantage of data visualization because it gives you more graphic details of what your data is saying. Now let's do some formatting details to this chart. For instance, for this one, let's do some formatting details to this. Remember, you can select the chart, elements, what do you want. For we want data bars, you can see, I say data bars. So immediately I click on data bars, what do you see? If I remove you, you don't see anything. Come here, data bars, what do you see? It gives the exact value of what those data actually are. So I say data bars, it gives that, which are these. Okay, I can go further and decide where those data bars will be. Are they going to be inside of that table, inside end? Can you see? Are they going to be at the center? Are they going to be like a call out? If I want a call out, can you see? And it gives me more options since I still want to manipulate more. So I think I'm okay with outside end. Okay. No, that's for that the grid line. If I unclick this, the grid line will be gone. I want the grid line there. Can you see that? The legend. So the legend, what do I want to do with the legend? I can shift the position. I still want it to be on the right. On the let me put it on the right. Okay, that's on the right. Put it on the top. Put it on the left. I don't want it on the left. So let's put on the right. So the legend, this is revenue in thousands. Can you see? On the right there. So that's chart element. We can the data labels, we can format it. You can see when you select one, all others are selected. Just like you can format anything, since it's a number, I think you should be able to format the amount. You can change the color, you can bold it, you can see, you can change the fill color, anything. You can change the fill, okay, you can say, okay, fill it with this color. Let's bring down the size, okay, as you want it. Now, another thing I want us to do is that data, I want us to change. This is 450,000. It's not easy to see. Now, let's go to still under chart element. Okay, let's do one thing you do is that select the element. Okay, and remember you can right click. You can right click on it. I'll give you options of what can be done. So if I right click on this now, so it gives me option to format data label. That's not what I want to do. So if I want to format data label, it gives me that option. Okay, now let's leave data label. I want to format this axis. Okay, I've selected the axis. I can right click on the axis. So select insert format axis. Can you see? You come here, you can format the axis. One of the things I can do with the axis is the bands of the axis. It starts from 0 to what? 5. I think this is 500,000. So from 0, can you see? It decided to start from 0 to 500. So if you want to change this to whatever you like, you can change it from there. So major unit 500,000 is moving at a rate of 500,000 to 100,000 to 150,000. So the change is moving at what? 50,000. This 50,000. Yes, it's moving at 50,000 intervals. So that is what we're having here. Now, horizontal axis crosses, say automatic. So display unit. Then I want to go to numbers. Look at this place, numbers. So under numbers, I'll come down here. You see, okay, this is number. Under number, I'm going to format it by using custom format. If I do accounting, look at this, what will happen? It will give you decimal point. Can you see? Okay, just like you want to format anything normally. If I do currency, what do we have? You see that? Okay. But what I want to do, I want to do custom formatting. I'll come to this place, I say custom. Okay, so these are custom formats. But let me see what I can do. I don't want all of this. So let's pick options that we have. I think this option is good for me. So if I want this option, I want to customize this. It should be able to give me option to type. I don't know why it's not giving me option to type. Okay, yes, I changed the code here. So I come here. I don't want this. I want, let me say, I want this. My value will be in dollar. So it will be to 2 decimal places. Okay. Pound, comma, pound, pound, and then let me give it O. Now, I want to convert this to millions. What I'll do is to, when you add a comma will remove 3,000, remove 1,000. That is 3 zeros from the number. So if I put a comma here, I have one, I've removed 3 numbers. So this, and then I can put this, for me to remove 3 number, 500,000. I can now customize and say, okay, put this, so this is double quotes. I need double quotes. Okay, this represent this number in this form and put 1,000 there. Let's say 1,000. Can you see that? Okay. I say 1,000. I say add. Can you see now? Can you see what has happened? 500,000. Can you see that? But I want to represent in million. What do I do? I can come back here. I can come back here. Okay, re-edit it. Just put million by putting M. Capital M, for instance. I put capital M there. Now remember, I've removed 1,000 by 1 comma. Okay. If I put another comma, it remains we mean a million. So let's add this. You see what happened. So you can see it has converted it to 1 million, 0.1 million, but this is not good enough. I don't like this because this data is not big enough. If you have used this data of 120 million and that would have been better. So, but let's leave it for now. We'll do the same thing with this other data, which is better. Okay. So you see, this is how you can change uh the axis. You can format the axis to for the value that you are representing to be more visible and easy to be read. Okay. Same for this annual sales for this figure. So I come here, I call this sales. Okay. I call this sales. Okay. Let me change the color. The font color maybe black. Will black be okay? Let me see what color will be okay. Okay, I think it's okay with that. The fill color, if I put it blue, I change the size. Okay, let's just make it visible. You can do whatever you like at your own convenience. Okay, so let's say sales. Let's select this and go and apply that formatting there. That number formatting we have done. Remember, you can do that by right clicking and say format axis, and you come down here, you come down to numbers, and from numbers you change to from general to custom, and for custom, because I've written that before, I think it should be in the library. If it's not there, we'll look for it. Okay, so this thousand, this is million. I've just written it there. If I pick this now, you can see the data automatically change. Can you see the beauty? Instead of 250 million, that is representing million 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see that this is very, very easy to read and understand. Okay. So these are little things you can do. Now let's take this data, this same data we are selecting here for category 2, which is giving us this chart. You can change this chart immediately. We want to change it to bar chart, so we click on the chart, say change chart type. Can you see? You come here. Let's now go and pick a pie chart, and then we have this. We have different forms of pie charts. You can see it's even putting data label because we have put that before. So, but I think we should be able to give us different forms of bar chart. So if you will say this, okay, there are different forms. You have these three, okay, you have this, this is what we call donuts. Okay, we don't want that now. I think I'll want this donut later. I think I like it better. It's more representative, but let's come with the default, which is this. So I click this, I say okay. Voila, you can see immediately our data changes what to pie chart. This is pie chart. So pie chart is also used to represent categories of transactions or things, so that just that it will divide them into percentages in 100 and give them colors. For each of these elements, we can reformat. Even the whole of this chart, we can reformat. As we have chosen this, we can come here to series option, to the chart series option. So you can set the angle for first slicer to the 0 and all of that. Okay, I know we can format it. Maybe we can right click reset to match style. We can go to style type. Okay, let's come here, chart design. So you will see that in the chart design we have different forms of preset charts. Okay, you can see this one gives the data label and the percentage. Okay, depending on what we want. We can just choose what we want, and I think I want this one. I want the one that will give the data set inside. Okay, I think this is okay. So you can see we format it to this. Now the problem with pie chart is that if we represent too many items in categories there, we have in this case now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have more just 5 categories of items: electronic, clothing, home, books, and thought. So it's still very easy for us to read and understand that this color is for electronic, which is doing you can see this tips is doing 32% of 450,000. This is uh, clothing. This is what? This is home and garden. So it's easy for you to see. But by the time we have more than 5 items, the the pie chart will not look good. It will not be easy for you sometimes to distinguish between what category percentage that each category represents and the color will change because you now have more colors, so you will get confused. So it is not advisable if your category series, your category items are more than 5. It is not advisable for you to use pie charts. But for things that are maybe 4 or 5 things that you want to represent, you can use a pie chart. But when it's more than 5, we advise that you don't use a pie chart. You either look for other things to do. So I could change this one. I think I want that donut. I think that was good for me. Change chart type. Come here. So I want to change to that donut. I think that donut is a bit more professional. I say okay, and you have this. I think this is more representative to me. Okay, yeah, clearly this is electronic. Clearly this is clothing, and so on and so forth. I can select these individual elements and format them. For instance, I want to format the data label. I showed you can format it. Okay, you can just come here and say format data series not from data label. So format data label, for instance, we can format the percentage, we have that. Okay, we can format the value to have comma separator. Okay, have comma separator. The number, we can go back to the number the way we used to have it before. If I say number, I think it's not giving me that. It should give me, I want something to give me. Okay, let's go to custom. Yeah, this custom is not good for me. I don't want that. Okay, let's another thing I can do. Another thing I can do to do that, command this. I can select and press Control 1. Control 1. Control 1 will activate the same thing. Okay. So the custom. Okay. If I press number, accounting will give me 3 decimal places with comma separator. Okay. I have that, but it has changed this to 0 point instead of percentage. I don't think I like that. I'll do that. Okay, let's just leave it like this. So you see, in any case, you can always have a time to format each of these elements, whether the data label, whether the percentage, even the color. You can change the color. The list series is set to match star. You can change to star. Change series chart type. We don't want to change select data. Okay, format data label, format data point. So that's for introduction to pie charts. Now let's take this once away. You can select and press delete. Select and press delete. And then let's conclude with a combo chart. So in the cases we have dealt with so far, we have looked at the data set that have only one category, one set of category and one series type. Okay. Now, when we have data set that we want to represent two or more data series or data values, like here we are representing sales and volume or units amount sold. So if we select, instead of selecting just these two, we could have selected the whole of this chart, right? And insert a chart. Let's say insert. If I say recommended chart, it will come here. Recommended chart, it will give us the best chart that will represent the first the default best chart that will represent the first set of data here, which is this 120, 135, 143. So, but it's giving us a line chart. Let's go back. I want, I still want a bar chart. Okay, I still want a bar chart. Let's come here and say this. Or say, let's say okay. So now this data set is representing year 2018, 2019. You can see at the horizontal. Okay, we have units sold. Okay, it's also represented there. Well, we cannot see it because it's actually representing two series. Okay, it's representing both this sales in millions and units sold in thousands. Okay, but we are not seeing, we are only seeing the sales. We are not really seeing the units sold. The units sold here is this red thing, which is not really representative. So what can we do? I think we can come to change chart type. I had this. You are come to this and choose this. This is a combo chart. So combo chart will make the chart into two different items. So when you come to combo chart here, now we begin to select each one. For sales, cluster column chart, we want to remove like to remain like that and make it the primary axis. Okay, line units sold in thousand, we want to make it the line chart and we want to make it the secondary axis. Immediately I click secondary axis, you see, because before it was line flat. Why was it line flat? Because thousand is the scale of thousand is in scale of thousand. It's far away from scale of millions, so it makes it look flat. But immediately I come here and I change this line chart that you have plotted flat here. Okay, you can see I can change it to whatever. Let me put it on stack line markers. Okay, I want line chart with marker. Line with marker. Okay, let me change it to this. Okay, so you can see that the data point is put a marker there. So I am now to make this a secondary axis. Secondary axis means that instead of using this vertical left axis to represent both data series, I will take another axis here as a secondary axis to represent this one, which is on a scale of thousand, different from this one that is on a scale of million. I hope you are getting me. So if you come here and you select this, you can see the data chart still. So this trend line now is giving you values on what? On units sold. Okay, I can say okay. Then again, remember I can change it. It is the Excel that decided to choose this unit automatically by itself. 0 to 5,000 to 10,000 to 15,000 and all of that. So if we add the one for percentage, I would like this because that one will show us more. Because percentage, for instance, we have revenue and the profit margin for each revenue is this. I think I would like that one because this percentage of profit is far small compared with thousands of revenue. Okay, So I would like to change this to percentage. Let's change this to percentage. Let's say undo. I want to change this to percentage. The way to do that is simple. Let me copy this somewhere first. Copy somewhere first. I remove this. Okay. I remove this. I will make sure that I format this for percentage first. Okay, so that my data will be seen as percentage. Percentage. No. Okay, let's type. Let me just say 15.2%. Can you see? Okay, I will now put it in how many decimal places? Let's put it in 2 decimal places. Okay, so we can see. Let's say this is 22.8. This is 17.5. This is 31.4. And this is 12.1%. Okay, so if I add this up, everything must be exactly 100%. Can you see this is 100%? So let me have this data set. Then permit me to just copy this, okay? Because I want it to be much. I want the gap to be much. Let's say this is sales in millions now, not in thousands. Okay, let me try to see this as the data set, right? And just permit me to use it like that for now, as if they are the same thing. Okay, so now these are sales I have for an electronic clothing and all that. And what percentage profits each of this is bringing to me? These are hypothetical, they are not accurate, just don't mind. So, and I want to represent this data in the combo chart. So I can press what? Alt F1. Is it Alt F1 now? Yeah. Alt F1 to bring up the chart. Okay, this is the chart I have as default. I can right click to change it, or I can come here and say change chart type. I come here, change it to combo, and I make my line chart, which is the profit line. Okay, the horizontal and the secondary axis, and I say okay. So you can see this chart now. I can move it by dragging it. I can expand it. Right? Okay, this is what I can change the type. You can see now. So you can see this axis is representing sales, whereas this axis is representing what? Percentage profit, which is plotted as this. So it's telling you that okay, electronics is giving me this sales and this percentage profit of about 15%. Okay, home garden has the lowest sales. Can you see? Look at this now. This is the beauty of analysis. Home garden is giving me a sales of just about 120 million, right? But the profit margin is around. I can put okay. See, these are the data points. I can plot. I can edit this too with data label. Okay, let me put data label there so that you can have it. Okay, so it's giving me a margin of what? 18.5%. Okay, you can see that books has about 160 million, but it's actually giving me what? The highest is it the highest profit margin? No, it's giving me the profit margin of 31.1%. Yes, it's giving me the highest profit margin. So it means that I can actually concentrate my efforts, and it's the second selling items on my carts. Okay, so it means that if I give this more efforts next year or next month, okay, it means that my profit will do what? Will go up. And I can see probably a correlation between two. and books, because when you go to bookshop, you are likely have to have toys and other things there. So as people are coming for children to buy books and all of that, maybe they are also buying toys, or maybe our store is actually a toy shop, and we also have bookshops that we are running parallel, and one is attracting traffic to another, the other is attracting traffic. So both of them have the highest sales and profit margin. Though the toys profit margin is low, but it's helping us to attract people to come and buy books, for instance. Can you see? So this is the advantage of data visualization using charts, and this is what we call combo chart, a combination of line charts and bar charts. So a combine is what we call combo charts. So let's format this axis back to right click on it. The axis not okay, format axis. We go to numbers, right, and then we choose what you have before, the custom we have before, which is this million, and change that to that. You can do anything on it. We can change the color and change everything we like. So you can see now we have sales in millions and profit margin in percentage. So as this data changes, as our data changes, of course our charts will change, because chart is dynamic. For instance, if you click on the chart again, and you can say select data, maybe if you come to select data, it will come to this place, okay, and we want us to do that. For instance, if I go to where the data set is and just let's go to where the data set is. We are using this second data set. Okay, let me take this out for now so that I can see. Okay, so let's take this data set. Okay, so for instance, if I desire to change this to, let's say, 15,000 or 15 million, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you see that immediately the chart will change and it becomes the lowest. Can you see? Clothing becomes what? The lowest. Okay? Can you see? If I like, I change this. Let's say I change this to 280, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You see, immediately that chart type changed. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to teach us here is that this chart, you can see that they are wide apart. These bars are wide apart. I can decide to change the gap between them so that they can be bigger or small out. So let's it and press Ctrl 1. So okay, it gives me this. So this gap, this thing that we call gap. See, the lower you remove gap, normally you think that if you go higher, okay, it should make the bars to be bigger, but it makes it narrower. But if you lower the gap, the bars will become stouter. Okay, can you see? So you can see me, I prefer this to be like this than to be so narrow. You can see. So it makes the representation more visual and appealing to read and to use. All right. So I hope you learn a lot from this session, and this is almost the last part of this recording of this tutorial, where we have sought to teach you as beginners Excel, that you are resuming in your workplace for the first time. You have never used Excel. You are going to be delivering reports and doing a lot, and you want to be independent as much as possible. Nobody is probably available to teach you. We are giving you this set of videos so that you can go through them and learn the basics of Excel and be able to do your work perfectly and efficiently with minimal or no supervision. So To conclude this session, we are going to have another session on shortcuts. Like very basic shortcuts that we have done in the series we have done before. Just a summary of it so that you can have them in handy and practice them to be able to use them to make your work faster also and more efficient. And that will give us the last part of the video series. So if you like this session and you like all we have done so far, please subscribe to my channels, click the notification button, share the video so that others can be aware of this, and continue to follow us and make comments and suggestions for us. We'd like to hear from you. Thank you, and see you the next time.